trust doesn't matter to you or your clients, does it?
No, not at all. Yeah, go on then. Yeah, look, I was thinking about this, and I was thinking about it a little bit more broadly. And you go, what is trust really? And so it's kind of, in my simple brain, it's something like the gap between what you say and what you do. And so the reason that you need that is you need it, or you want it rather, to make better decisions. And that could be the best partner, the best vendor. That could be, how you work with your clients, how you foster a culture within the agency. And so, if we think about the context that we're dealing with within the media landscape right now, we've got more complexity, we've got more choice, we've got more data, more automation, a more technical environment that makes it it's sometimes less clear what's actually going on. You've got more challenges going on as well. So you've got seemingly endless kind of content being uploaded to platforms with all the sort of moderation issues that entails. You've got MFA content. You've got a sort of increasingly divided socio-political sort of environment within all the platforms. And so there's more areas you're actively trying to avoid as well. So all of these things kind of really come together to I guess, make a really difficult environment to make decisions. So being able to determine what you say, you actually get what you think you're going to get is so critically important.
Amazing. And so kind of how much is trust in the conversation when you're having with clients, both in terms of trust in, kind of obviously the trust between your clients and you is almost taken as a given, but the trust between what your clients are spending on and the reality of where that lies.
Yeah, so it's interesting because trust is something we don't often have as a core topic or as a key KPI, but it's almost like the secret KPI behind the KPI, because if you think about the different conversations that we do have, so where advertisers or where brands show up really influences consumer trust in a brand. So social platforms where you've got a lower, and I'd say this is a gross generalization, but the data sort of shows you've got a lower level of institutional trust. You've got more algorithmically driven content driving emotion or focusing on emotion and reinforcing the bubble. People see what they want to see, and that's reinforced with the different algorithmic content proliferation. Traditional media, by contrast, retains a higher level of trust, but there's still significant accusations of bias or agenda within different spheres. And then you've probably got other areas which you might think about as more like emerging media. So creators, podcasts, which often tend to be more trusted because of the individuals, and you're consuming that because you really like someone, you really get their point of view, you have a more personal relationship, but it seems to operate in a less regulated rather environment, and ones where brands have to give a bit more freedom. So it makes a really difficult conversation, but those are real sort of conversations that we're having with clients, that we have as part of the team. So what platforms you're using and how the brand and consumer, so the value of brands as they affect purchase intent and loyalty and all those kind of things. But where brands overclaim or purpose wash, don't deliver against things or certain expectations that consumers now have, it can be really problematic. And then even in the sort of inter-business type issues like agency and industry. So clients and agencies, there's potential, let's call it potential tensions around commercial pressures, transparency fees, data ownership, sort of delivery, all those good meaty topics between agencies and media owners around data ownership, brand safety, walled gardens, like the quality of the content and the inventory that is actually being created, and then there's a really fundamental issue around measurement and verification. So fragmentation of data delivery metrics, things like areas like CTV, for instance, makes it really hard to actually determine what's happening at a macro level so that you can actually kind of build trust.
Yeah, brilliant answer as well, and covered the whole gamut of trust from the agency perspective there. And I think it's really interesting. So if we move on to kind of in a world where AI created content is thriving and is going to continue to thrive, how is the audience trust? You've touched on it a little bit already, but how is the audience trust in that content going to impact advertisers?
It's such a good sort of topic, this, because it's changing so fast. A few weeks back, we had